Hey guys, so today I am coloring in my drawing of Zenitsu, which is a character from Demon Slayer, which I recently just watched the series. There's only one season out right now for, in Canada and I believe America, but in Japan I think there's 2 seasons out, but I haven't seen the second season come onto Funimation, so I only watched one, so I'll get started coloring and kind of go from there. So I'm going to use GG9, which is green gray, for my touch markers to color in his pants first. I have to say it took me a long while to actually get into Demon Slayer because I was like so focused on other things to the point where I was like, maybe I won't watch it. It was one of those animes I just kind of put in the back because I don't really watch a lot of animes nowadays, so I literally was like, oh, maybe I won't watch it. I like the artwork and stuff like that and the character design, but maybe I won't watch it. And then I ended up going to watch it because I was so bored one day because I'm still at home for the quarantine thing, and I was so bored because I was like, what is there to do? And there was literally nothing to do, so I ended up going to watch Demon Slayer, and I watched it pretty fast because I think it took me 3 to 4 days to watch because I was like, there's nothing else to do, and my dad was working at home, so I was like, I'll just watch that. So I ended up doing that, and I just basically completed the whole season because of that, and now I kind of know some characters. Zenitsu is like one of my favorites because he's funny, but he also is just like, he kind of brings people down to earth in terms of like, he's just scared of dying because in their universe they're fighting demons in a physical form, so he's very scared of that. He was like clawing at a woman's pants, like saying, please marry me. Like at her leg, he was like, please marry me, I'm gonna die alone. I think he's funny, but at the same time he speaks some truth. Like, it is really scary that he ended, like, he that like you can sign up to be a demon slayer and you have to pass like the tests and stuff. Like, he passed the test to become a certified demon slayer, but it was super intense the way they did the test, so it makes sense that he's scared. Okay, and now I'm going to shade some of it first, so that way when I'm outlining in my next video I'll do the outlining, but basically when I'm outlining I'll know where I'm coloring and stuff like that, where I'm outlining. So I'm going to use 120, which is black, to shade. My camera is properly looking at this, like properly focused. Sometimes it's not. I like his kimono. I kind of wanted to buy something like that. There's actually a cosplay of him. I might actually buy it later on because I really like his character. Inosuke is actually my favorite character of Demon Slayer. That was even before I watched Demon Slayer, to be honest. There were some things where I was just like looking at clips before watching, so I ended up liking Inosuke a lot, so he's my favorite, and then Zenitsu is my second favorite. I might draw Tanjiro later on, though. I'm gonna use, I don't know why my nose is sniffly, but I'm gonna use Y45, which is Canaria Yellow, to start coloring this in. And actually for the triangles, I'm gonna color them in and go over them with like this white marker that I have, so that way it's better. It's easier to do that too, because then there's just, because then I don't have to like go around the triangles. So I'm not gonna color his sleeves in completely and part of his kimono completely, just because part of it is a gradient, like his hair color, which you can see on my drawing. But basically, his kimono has the same gradient as his hair, so I'm gonna try to do that. Okay, so that's the first yellow I'm using, and then I'm going to use Y37. I did not turn on my room light, now that I mention it, now that I think about it, so hopefully the sunlight doesn't go away. But I'm going to use Y37, which is pastel yellow, and I'm going to first shade in his other yellow that I did, and then I'm going to start using it for like the gradient part, the part where it becomes shaded to a darker yellow. So now that I'm done shading, I'm going to actually do the some of the gradient for it, so like the darker yellow. And then I'm gonna switch to another, it's like a yellowy orange, but it's kind of, it has a little tint of brown to it, which I use to kind of shade in the darker yellow spots. So it's going to be Y44. It's called Fresh Green. I think there's a hint of green in it, but I use it to shade yellow because it looks like a golden brown color. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the orange parts. So I'm going to use Y33, which is melon yellow. This is my lightest orange. It's called yellow, but it's really an orangey yellow. For this one, I'm trying not to reach all the way down to the end of the sleeve, because that's going to be the darker orange. And then I'm going to use some of it to go down the kimono, so the part that I didn't color. I think the inside of his kimono is white, so I'm just going to leave it white, and then I'm going to shade it. So for this one, I'm going to just shade it with the YR24, which is marigold, which is my darker orange, and then I'll shade this orange with a darker, with another type of orangey yellow as well. This is kind of my first time doing a gradient like this, because normally I do, like, I draw things just with like one color. I don't think I've drawn much with actual gradients like this, so it's my first time trying this out, so hopefully it turns out well. Then this side as well. And then I'm going to do these side of the kimono, so that way it's all colored in now. His outfit is so pretty, I have to say. Out of all of like the anime characters that I ever drew, like his outfit is really cute. Like it's so pretty with the colors. And then I'm going to use a YR31, which is a dark yellow, to shade in some of that orange. If there's any spots I need to shade in. Okay, and then I'm going to use green gray, which is GG1, to kind of just shade in the white. If you were wondering what that sound was, it was me trying to open the marker, because the marker is kind of hard to open nowadays. So I'm shading in his sleeves as well, because they're covered up a bit. So like this. And then the last part that I need to do is, I'm just gonna shade in, this is his sword. It's like underneath, but you can't really see it because it's behind him. And then the last thing I need to do is color in the white triangles that he has. So what I have is just this, I've shown it once on camera, but I don't think I've talked about it that much, but it's this one for all, I'm hitting my tripod. It's a Moloto, it's this Moloto one for all acrylic, marker, and it's from Germany actually. There's like measuring how much you have and stuff like that. I don't know, I don't think these are refillable, but I bought this from the Sears. I haven't seen this anywhere else, but I could be wrong. Like you probably could find this somewhere else online, but I haven't seen this anywhere else. I actually bought it because I wanted to get something to put the whites in the eyes, but then I ended up not finding a white pen. I guess it's harder to find a white pen. I know if you go to Japan or Korea, they have a lot of stationery stuff, and it's easier to find white pens there. But over here in Canada, I've never like stumbled across one, so it's harder to find one. So all I'm gonna do is color in the triangles. All of his triangles are supposed to be white, basically. This would be better on thicker paper though, considering that when I use it and if I push out too much ink, you kind of pump it up and down so that way it actually works. But if I use too much ink on this paper, I notice like some of the paper particles start getting all messy, which means it's ruining the paper. So I would suggest thicker paper if you have any. I usually just draw on printing paper though, so a lot of my stuff bleeds through, like a lot of my artworks bleed through the paper a little bit, but it doesn't completely destroy the paper. It's just harder to use. And almost done. Just this side and then I'll be done. I should also mention that with this marker, if you try to pump it on the drawing, you could end up making a mistake. There was a dragon drawing that I was doing, and I did that, and it just leaked out completely, so you might want to like get it ready on like a separate paper so that way it doesn't leak out completely and just ruin your drawing with like a big glob of white. But for this case, because I'm covering a bigger surface area, I just do a little and then I can color. So here is my drawing complete. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. For my next video, I'll be outlining this guy. All of the process work for Zenitsu will be on my social media, which is in my description box below. So you can go check it out. You'll see this sketch there as well as like the marker process too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!